Well, welcome back to the Ropesville Family Podcast. Said it wrong. Ropes Family Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about something that's important to most of us. Most of us wouldn't be here without one. Today we're talking about moms. It's pretty fitting because Mother's Day was yesterday of the time this recorded. We record on Mondays. Mother's Day was yesterday. So Courtney, I'm going to ask you the question I ask every time. What is moms?
Okay, a mom is a female parent. Or the other definition was the mother of someone. Not a good definition this week.
It's what
it is, but
when you boil it down, that's all you are.
That's all we are.
You are right
You're
there.
right.
Moms, just a parent, just a female parent. That's what you are. So today we had a different topic in mind for a podcast, but then the more I thought about it, the more I thought we could talk about moms. I struggle with moms. Not saying I struggle with my personal relationship with my mom or my wife as a mom. I just struggle with moms.
Because you're not a mom.
Because I'm not a mom. I don't understand it.
I
don't. That's it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't understand what it means to be a mom because I will never be a mom.
Right.
So this isn't a question we talked about earlier, but what is it? What do you feel like it means to be a mom?
Well, when Billy was little, he told me a mom is someone who picks their baby up after they fall down. That was his definition. So I think it's the person in the house that's usually more nurturing and more out to be the holder, hugger, snuggler type person. And then the dad is more of the leader, breadwinner kind of type. Or that's how I feel.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of resonate with that with a little bit, but I think in Allison may not like that I share this. In our house, it's kind of this opposite. I like to call Allison my sugar mama because she gets to, she goes to work. She has a pretty good job, and so she's the breadwinner. And so I get to stay home with the kids. But I'm not a mom still. But I don't nurture like a mom does. Like you guys heard the story last week. I left Elliot locked in the bathroom. Like I'm not going to nurture. Moms probably wouldn't leave their son in the bathroom unless it was you really needed to teach them. But moms and dads are different. Dads deal with things differently. They're not nurturers as much as moms are. It's not in their nature. So to bring it to kind of the spiritual level, what do you think the role that a mom plays in a kid's spiritual formation?
I feel like moms are the ones that kids are going to, go to more. And so as a spiritual leader, we can show them how to deal with things in I guess I'm getting really, really like emotional, or like go to God, lay that stuff down, show him. He knows, but just put it all out there.
Yeah, more tender
type stuff. And I think showing them that side and showing them it's okay if you just need to be like, God, here it is. I can't do this anymore or whatever. And I think kids will respond to that really well. And dads are more like cut to the chase here, or that's how it's always been in my life.
I think kids can relate to desperation a lot more than dads do. Moms can relate to that. Not saying that moms are desperate. See, no, I told you, I don't understand what it means to be a mom.
Moms tend to be more emotional or more able to put stuff out there. Dads are more reserved.
Yeah. Dads are more like, get over it, son.
Yeah.
Talk to.
Not all dads, by the way, everybody.
We can't be very general with this, because I am the first one to cry in my family when we have any kind of emotional thing happen. It's me. When Allison and I were dating back in the day, she would always say, I'm the man in the relationship. Because I'd be like super emotional, like, oh, I need a hug. And then she'd be like, but it's not really like that. But it's just, she just does that to push my buttons a little bit. But to bring it to the Bible, I want to talk about, we're the most famous passage that talks about a mom, which is Proverbs, or a wife or a woman, is in Proverbs 31. And if you haven't read it, read it. It tells you what a good woman is. But I want to focus on the role that kind of a mom plays, and it's in Proverbs 31, 26 through 28. Here we go, right here. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. So, like, when a mother speaks, it's wise. Like you said, she's always going to be the quickest to relate to a child. She's always going to have. That's her role, is to always be ready to teach, and when she says things, they need to be wise. They need to be, in the verse before that, strength and dignity. Right. I think that's a good place to start as a model. A way to look at. Mm-hmm. But how do we get there? You're right. And so I was kind of pondering that question. How does a mom get there? And a while back for my college class at Wayland, I'm taking family ministry right now, and we had to write our own personal philosophy on family ministry. And what I looked at was Colossians 3:16, which I think we've talked about a little bit in this podcast over and over. I really like to think that this is the theme of my season of life right now, especially with my kids. This is kind of our family theme, I think. It says, "Let the word of Christ dwell within you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, singing songs and hymns and spiritual songs with thankfulness in your hearts to God." So our point, so how a mom does this is where she starts, is she lets the word of Christ dwell within her, right? That's where we start. So you've got to, if you're leading your kids, the role of a mother leading her kids' spirituality is she's got to be practicing spirituality first of all, right? She's got to be reading the word, letting it dwell within her richly. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing is she teach and admonish. So where does she teach and admonish from? Well, she gets her wisdom from the word of Christ, right? That comes, she's got to know the word. She's got to be in the word to be able to teach and then correct and warn against. That's what admonishment means, is to warn against. And then she does this through singing psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. Basically, she does this through worship, right? It's not just through singing songs, of singing hymns and spiritual songs. It's through practicing spirituality. It's through modeling worship for kids. Mm-hmm.
But I think being active at church as a mom,
yeah.
Like, I know it's hard for women to go out and a lot of women just to start doing stuff with other women, but being active at church and showing your kids, like, it's okay to go to Sunday school and be with people you don't know them that well, or even like the women's ministry stuff we do here. It's cool to go and see women from all different ages and stuff. Yeah. I think that's a really good example for our kids.
Yeah, and that goes back to, like, we've mentioned, I think, being a good example every podcast. Like
modeling.
Modeling, teaching and admonishing. Yeah, being a good role model for our kids. That was kind of the theme we had the baccalaureate service yesterday, and basically the theme of each speaker that was there was choosing your friends wisely. Choosing a good role model, or being that good role model to others. It's the same with our kids, like our kids, we've talked about this. They learn from what we do. They pick up on what we do, but we know that we're not perfect. I know I'm not a perfect dad. I know that there's ways that I feel but guilty or bad about the things that I do.
Yeah.
And I know that there's such a thing as mom guilt.
Oh,
right.
There's a lot of mom guilt.
So what about, how do we get over mom guilt? From a dad that doesn't ever experience mom guilt.
Well, I think mom guilt comes in so many different forms, because as moms, if we go to our kids' stuff, we're super involved in their lives, we're smothering them. But if we're not, and we can't go to their stuff, or we don't spend 24/7 with them when then they're like abandoned.
Yeah.
Well, so there's two very, very different things there, and neither one of them are the truth.
Right.
So I think as moms, it's good to have a community of other moms, a safe community where you can talk about things and be like, I don't know what to do with this, or I don't know how to handle this. Where you can talk it out. You can bounce ideas off each other, and women of faith or moms of faith can rally around you and, encourage you instead of just being like, oh, well, that's terrible that you work.
Yeah.
Or, oh my gosh, you stay home. Your kids are already in school. Why are you at home? Go to work. Like that kind of stuff doesn't help anybody.
Right.
And as moms, if we have a group or even just one mom we can go to and talk to safely without them being super judgmental, it really helps with mom guilt.
Yeah. That's one thing that I don't understand. Like I was talking to Allison about this earlier, and I made the point, like, I'm not going to feel guilty about not taking my kids to the park, but Allison will feel guilty, even though nobody else was going to the park. Moms still feel guilty about not taking their kids to the park enough. Like, did I take my kids to the park enough? Did I do this? Did I do that? The responsibility of nurturing falls on the mom,
right?
So much differently than a dad. Dads, they understand providing and taking care of and things like that, but nurturing is different.
Right.
I don't know if my sister would mind me sharing this or not, but my Allison and my sister, they've been kind of sharing back and forth. My sister just had a baby, and they've been talking about feeding the kid, and so Allison said, she's telling her, it's one of the most isolating things when you are the sole form of nutrition for your kid, like dads are useless at that point to that kid. But your responsibility to keep that kid alive is all on you. Everything is on you. And there's so much like, am I doing this right? Am I enough for my kid? Do I need to add supplements? Like there's so many things. And I think that that's ingrained in moms all the way through life.
Right.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
I'm speaking from a dad's perspective.
No, you're exactly right.
But I think that's just ingrained in moms that they're, like they have to nurture and take care of their kid.
Right. Well, even animals do that.
Yeah.
Like that's what they do. Our goats have babies. They immediately start cleaning them off. They get them to get up and eat. They're just animals. Yeah. But that motherly instinct is in them too. Immediately. But I have a good mom guilt story.
Oh, let me hear it. I want to hear your mom guilt story.
I still feel horrible about this. So Billy was like 4 and he had a basketball game and we were supposed to go see Zootopia after. Well, he finishes his game late and then my dad calls and tells us he needs feed for his horses. He was out of town. So he ran, got feed, took it home. Well, by this point we have like 30 minutes before the movie starts. So we haul over to Alamo to watch this movie. Well, there's a petting zoo before the movie and I knew it. But we were running late. By that time, it was like 15 minutes till the movie starts. I'm like, no, dude, you can't go to the petting zoo right now. We got to go to the movie, and then after you can do the petting zoo. We walked out of the movie, and they were cleaning up the petting zoo.
Oh, no.
And they had everything already in their cages. And my kid had a total meltdown, which made me have a total meltdown. And I just cried and cried and cried, and he cried, and I begged the people to let him touch something. They wouldn't. And so still to this day, he's like,
please, you just have a goat. I could
let him touch the porcupine. I don't care. But still to this day, he's like, hey mom, remember when we went to see Zootopia and you didn't let me go to the petting zoo? And I'm like, don't ever bring that up again. But he does all the time. So that's good.
Oh man.
It's been 8-9 years, but don't you worry. I remember it. Feel horrible about it.
That's way worse than locking your kid in the bathroom. I'm just kidding.
Don't let him go to the petting zoo.
I'm teasing.
So bad.
I think that happens a lot. Like sometimes parents get so focused on getting to the thing that they forget about the thing leading up. Like the petting zoo was there obviously because of Zootopia, right? To interact with animals before you go watch an animal movie. Oh, I pet that before I went in there.
So cute.
Yeah.
Unless you're bad parent.
Unless you're like in a hurry and trying to catch Shakira on Zootopia or whatever. I think it's Shakira, right? She plays the
she plays the gazelle.
Yeah. Sometimes parents just need to slow down too.
Yes.
I think I catch myself in that, like we're always in a hurry trying to get somewhere and we miss so much, and there's your mom guilt for the day is you haven't slowed down enough, by the way, if you're listening.
It's fine. think we have so much of it. Just add it to it. It's fine.
It helps. It helps. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters.
Golly. Well, one thing that I really enjoy about our church is there's a lot of older moms or moms with older children that are more than happy to listen to me. When I have a problem with one of my kids, especially Cindy Callahan, that woman has had to listen to me like 1 million times. And every time she's like, you're okay. He's okay. You're all going to be okay. And he's going to get through the grade and he's going to be fine. And yes, he may struggle with so-and-so teacher, but it's going to be okay. And I'm like, I don't think so. You know, he's, and she just goes, breathe. It's fine. And I'm like, okay. So she's been super encouraging to me. And I think it's good as moms to be able to talk to people who've been through it.
Yeah.
Especially moms, because once again, they're going to be the nurturers and they're going to be the ones that have had to pick up the pieces when the kid has a meltdown or fails something, when dad's like, come on, do better.
Yeah, just get over it.
And mom's like, oh, that's embarrassing. He did that? You know, that's how I am.
Moms get it. Yeah, moms get it. Dads don't get it.
Yeah. And so I think having another mom who's older or has older children really helps me a lot.
I think that back to my philosophy on family ministry, I think that the church should do this role as well. Should let the word of Christ dwell within them richly. That should be the church's job as well.
Right.
And then to teach and admonish others within the church to fill the roles that the parents can't fill. Like if there's an absent parent or whatever, or if the parent is lacking or can't do this specific thing or doesn't know where to go, the church should be quick to fill that role. To lead in thanksgiving, to lead in worship, however form, to lead, to fill in where the parents fall short. That's kind of my whole family philosophy or family ministry philosophy is the church should be the example for the parents to be able to be the example. The church should follow Christ's example, and then it just trickles down, right? I think that's how it works. Do you have a family question or family challenge this week?
Yes, I do. I have a challenge for all of you. I challenge you to go and encourage a mom this week. Anyone. Doesn't have to be your mom.
Yeah.
Or moms, let's encourage each other this week.
Yeah, I think that's the ticket.
A few of us are leaving this weekend to go on a mission trip and are already feeling mom guilt over some things.
Yeah.
Maybe me, for example. So I think that we can encourage each other for sure this week.
I think that's good. And even though Mother's Day was Sunday, it doesn't matter. Try and encourage your mom or a mom every day. Like, fellas, if you have a wife that's a mom, encourage her, or if you have a mom, encourage her. Say, Mom, you're doing a great job. Allison, thank you so much for doing everything you do. This house would not run as well as it does without you. That's me fulfilling the challenge this week. Just encourage somebody, encourage a mom. New moms are they're deep in the trenches right now.
Yes.
Moms of young kids, they're deep in the trenches. Teenage moms, deep in the trenches. Everybody's moms are deep in the trenches. Even older moms that are empty nesters, they need encouragement too. And sometimes bringing your kids around are a big encouragement to moms that are empty nesters that need to be able to exercise their nurturing side. You know. So that's it. That's family. That's the family challenge this week. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, we will see y'all next week. We might be doing something a little different next week because most of the church staff is going to be, or half of the church staff is going to be gone on a mission trip. And so we'll be kind of doing things a little differently. So we'll talk to y'all next week, however it is. See y'all later. Peace.